Global crisis. Trump is ridiculed after threatening the BRICS. But let's see what happened over the weekend. The US President-elect, Donald Trump, has issued a stern warning to the BRICS nations via the following tweet. The idea that BRICS countries are trying to move away from the dollar while we stand by and watch is over. We demand a commitment from these countries that they will not create a new BRICS currency, nor endorse any other currency to replace the mighty US dollar, or else they will face 100% tariffs. And they should expect to say goodbye to selling in the wonderful US economy. They can go find another sucker. There is zero chance of the BRICS replacing the US dollar in international trade, and any country that tries should say goodbye to the United States. Trump has demanded guarantees from the BRICS that they will not attempt to create an alternative currency to compete with the US dollar. Trump has reiterated his commitment to defending the dollar as the world's primary reserve currency and has threatened to impose significant economic sanctions, including 100% tariffs on countries that challenge its decades-long hegemony. However, in recent years, there has been increasing pressure from countries, especially within the BRICS bloc, to establish alternative payment systems and reduce dependence on the dollar. Trump's warning can be interpreted as a sign of recognition by the United States of the growing momentum of de-dollarization efforts. In early 2023, China and Brazil, the two largest economies in the BRICS bloc, signed an agreement to settle trade transactions in their local currencies. The volume of bilateral trade between China and Brazil reportedly reached approximately $150 billion in 2022, with China being Brazil's largest trading partner. This shift to local currencies is expected to further boost trade by reducing transaction costs and promoting financial independence. This collaboration includes the interconnection of their national payment networks and the mutual acceptance of bank cards. In early 2023, Iran and Russia connected their banking infrastructures, allowing Iranian financial institutions to connect with Russian banks and more than 100 banks from 13 other countries through the Russian financial messaging transfer system. On July 6, 2024, the Central Bank of Iran announced the integration of the Iranian Interbank Network, Shatab, with the Russian payment system. This development allows the use of Russian Mir cards in Iran, facilitating transactions for Russian tourists and businesses operating in the country. The initiative aims to reduce dependence on Western financial systems and promote bilateral economic activities. By November 2024, Iran and Russia had further advanced their financial integration by allowing the use of Iranian bank cards in Russia. This measure allows Iranian citizens to conduct transactions and withdraw cash in Russia using their national bank cards, thus improving financial accessibility for Iranians abroad and strengthening economic ties between the two nations. India and Russia have also adopted local currency as a means of payment. Following the sanctions imposed on Russia by the West in 2022, the two countries increased the use of the Indian rupee and the Russian ruble in their transactions. Russia became India's largest crude oil supplier in 2023, and a significant portion of these transactions were settled in Indian rupees. China is South Africa's largest trading partner, with bilateral trade exceeding $50 billion annually in 2023. South Africa signed agreements to use the United Nations in various imports, especially machinery and electronics, thus reducing its dependence on the dollar and boosting liquidity in African markets. This initiative aims to reduce dependence on Western financial networks, such as the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication, or SWIFT, and promote financial sovereignty within the bloc. Development and implementation launched in 2018 by the BRICS Business Council. BRICS Pay integrates existing national payment infrastructures, including Russia's Mir network and India's Unified Payments Interface, UPI. The recent BRICS 2024 summit concluded with several noteworthy agreements and initiatives, one of which stands out as particularly transformative: the proposal for a unified deposit and clearing system specifically for BRICS nations. This ambitious plan has the potential to reshape the dynamics of global trade by allowing member countries to operate independently of Western financial frameworks, such as the IMF and the World Bank, and conduct transactions within their own network. This initiative takes on greater significance in light of Donald Trump's recent return to the US presidency. During his previous term, Trump had warned world leaders about the potential consequences of reducing their reliance on the US dollar. These warnings included threats of severe penalties, such as tariffs or economic sanctions of up to 100% on traded goods, intended to discourage any efforts to circumvent the dollar for BRICS nations. These developments underscore the urgency of pursuing financial systems that grant them greater economic independence. The bloc's leaders recognize the need to insulate themselves from these vulnerabilities. Establishing an independent financial structure would allow BRICS countries to minimize vulnerabilities related to shifts in US monetary policy, while fostering trade and investment channels less susceptible to abrupt changes in US policy or sanctions. The dollar as a tool of influence. To fully understand the motivations behind this development, it's important to consider the historical role of the US dollar as a tool for wielding economic and geopolitical influence. Often referred to as the weaponization of the dollar, this strategy leverages the currency's global primacy to impose sanctions and limit access to international financial systems for developing nations. The dominance of the US dollar as the world's primary reserve currency emerged after World War II and was solidified with the 1944 Bretton Woods Agreement, which established a global monetary system where currencies were pegged to the dollar, which was backed by gold at a fixed rate of $35 per ounce. Before World War II, the British pound sterling was the dominant reserve currency, but the war devastated European economies and left the United States in a position of economic strength, bolstered by significant purchasing power. The 1944 Bretton Woods Conference aimed to stabilize the global monetary system, which led to the establishment of fixed exchange rates, and cemented the dollar as the backbone of international finance by the late 1960s. Despite this shift, the dollar continues to dominate global finance, accounting for approximately 59% of global currency reserves in 2023. The US dollar's dominance in the global financial system provides the United States with several strategic advantages, primarily allowing it to finance its deficits by issuing dollar-denominated debt, which is in high demand worldwide. This privileged position allows the United States to borrow at lower interest rates than other countries, as international investors seek the safety and liquidity of US Treasury securities. Consequently, the United States can maintain higher trade deficits with deferred economic repercussions, a phenomenon often referred to as exorbitant privilege. Furthermore, the dollar's preeminence grants the United States significant influence over global economic activities through its monetary policy, as many countries hold substantial dollar reserves and trade in dollars. Decisions made by the US Federal Reserve, such as adjusting interest rates, have far-reaching effects on the global economy. Moreover, the dollar's central role in international finance allows the United States to effectively impose economic sanctions by restricting access to the US financial system and the dollar. The United States can exert pressure on entities or individuals in nations engaging in activities contrary to its interests or international norms.